Give the Jackson Award, and his speech was just outstanding, the best of them all. And when I say excellence and sincerity and all the rest of the words, we have some great youngsters in our school system, and there's one young fellow tonight that's going to be with us, and this young man by the name of...
Let's start off with our battle cry, our theme of self-affirmation, our theme of self-esteem. Repeat, I am somebody. I am somebody. I am somebody. I may be poor, but I am somebody. I may be unskilled, but I am somebody. Respect me, protect me, never neglect me. We're grateful tonight to have this privilege to be in Baltimore with you and to have a great Push Excel celebration. I want to ask Sister Oprah Winfrey and Brother Richard Scher to come back. Let's give them a big hand. Oprah, Richard Scher, wherever you are, give them a big hand. Let's hear it. Give them a big hand. Also, something very special is happening tonight in Baltimore. For the first time in a real sense in Baltimore and around the nation, a station manager has developed the courage, the nerve, the good judgment to bring TV to the people. The manager of this station who has done this, Mr. Art Kern. Let's give him a big hand. Mr. Art Kern, the station manager. Tonight, at the very outset, I want to dedicate my remarks in a general sense to a man who lives in this city, whose life and lifestyle, whose works and contributions to our people and people of goodwill around the world go unmatched. A gentleman, a lawyer, a scholar, an unselfish servant, one of the godfathers of social change and justice in this nation. I want us to give him the kind of applause. Wherever he is tonight, he will know that we know him, love him, and Baltimore owes him so much. Clarence Mitchell Sr. Let's give him a big hand. Clarence Mitchell Sr. Tonight, I want to speak from this subject, the challenge to be a greater generation. The challenge to be a greater generation. Each generation has the challenge to carry the torch for human progress on another lap. Excellence, it should be expected of us, nothing less. Nobody is exempt from doing your best. Excellence is your best against the odds. Your best is not my best. My best is not your best. Nobody is great in everything, and everybody can be great in something. Nobody has a right to do less than his best. And so in a real sense, we challenge you to excel tonight because you can and because you ought to. Students have a real challenge to make a contribution. You can be children without being childlike. During the early 50s, the era some call McCarthyism, freedom of speech was threatened. Students asserted themselves and made a difference. When Rosa Parks, with a welling up of dignity and character, decided not to go back, decided to stand up, Dr. King was a 26-year-old student. Students around the nation, black and white, rallied to the cause of justice. Students stood up. When blacks and browns and poor in this nation didn't have public accommodations, couldn't use hotels and motels and parks and libraries, students stood up. When the blacks of this nation did not have the right to vote, and to that extent democracy was hypocritical, students stood up. When our nation found itself lost in the moral abyss of an unjust and senseless war, students stood up. One of the glorious products of that struggle was the right of 18-year-olds to vote. That is, to have a voice, to have the power to make a difference. There's one thing worse than not having an opportunity, and that is not to be sober or sane or sensitive enough to take advantage of it. Something has happened, and therefore we must put forth a very special kind of challenge. We would have thought that after we had public accommodations, the right of the 18-year-old to vote, the ending of the war, that a new day would have come. An end would have come, an ushering in of optimism and concern and care and compassion. The great issues of our day are still yet unresolved. Affirmative action for the historically handicapped, jobs for the jobless, health insurance for people who are dying in emergency rooms because they do not have a blue card or a green card, full voter registration, world peace, freedom in Southern Africa, housing, the great issues of our day. The media, we fight for a free press, but we want a fair press. There are 1,769 daily newspapers in America. Only 6 have a black in an executive management position. There are 134 network executives, only 2 are black. These are the great issues of our day. But where are the students and the parents and the teachers? Where are you? Somewhere we lost our way. Darkness set in. John Kennedy was assassinated. Martin King assassinated. Malcolm X assassinated. Medgar Evers assassinated. Robert Kennedy assassinated. And once grapes that were full of juice and potential and optimism, the skin was broken and the grapes began to drip. Before we could make an adjustment, there was this war. Before we could make an adjustment, there was an administration drowning in its own Watergate corruption. And so many grapes became raisins, and we lost our hope. We lost confidence in ourselves and in each other. We turned inward. We went from sacrifice to avarice and greed and selfishness and Woodstock and all that, the nakedness, the disrespect, the selfishness represented. It was an ethical collapse. Found young people filling their membranes with cocaine, pickling their brains in liquor. Death changed its name from Southern rope to Northern dope. We began to push dope in our veins rather than hope in our brains. We virtually lost our minds. Somehow the idea hit us that if a thing were not convenient, it was not worth having. I suggest to you tonight that the laws of convenience lead to collapse. The laws of sacrifice lead to greatness. Things that come conveniently leave conveniently. Things worth having are worth working for. We found ourselves trapped in issues that had no substance, fighting for foul speech rather than free speech, trying to equate shack-ups with marriages, fighting to lower the liquor drinking age, fighting to legalize drugs, using pill power to cop out because we did not have willpower to cope with. In the context of this, we say we must excel. Education. Our schools became trapped. Our schools became the dumping ground for all of the maladies of the culture. Historically, we fought for opportunities in school, and we want an adequately funded education. We want an equitably funded education. We want a multicultural education as opposed to a segregated one. America is just 4% of the world. America is just 4% of the world. 1/2 of all human beings on earth are Asian. 1 of every 8 human beings is African. 1 of every 4 Nigerian. Americans, we must learn to live with the world, not over the world. We must learn to live with the world. As much as we fight for opportunity, opportunity is legalistic. The legislature, the courts can give us opportunity, but we need more than opportunity. We also need effort. As a matter of fact, effort must exceed opportunity for change to take place. What does it matter if the doors of opportunity are wide open if we're too drunk to stagger through them? What does it really matter? What does it matter if we have the right to get married and don't have the maturity to stabilize our families? What does it really matter if you have a new school or an old school if you attend neither? What does it really matter if the teacher has a PhD or no D if you never go to class? What does it really matter? Some of us are sidetracked on these perverted definitions of a man or a woman. We don't need to use in this day and age any cowboy definition of a man. You're not a man because you can kill somebody. You're a man because you can heal somebody. You're not a man. You're not a man because you can make a baby. You're a man because you can raise a baby and love a baby and provide for a baby and build a family. That's a real man. And so I challenge you to be sober, to be sane, to be sensitive. Why? Because power and wealth and knowledge never kidnapped anybody. You can hang around the bank all you want to. Money will never leap out of that deposit box and kidnap you. You can hang around the library all night, but knowledge will not jump out of that library and kidnap you. And so this is a new day. We have new power. There are 3.1 million high school students in this nation. 7,000 plus in Baltimore, about 70,000 in Maryland. I want every high school senior here, come this May, since you can vote for the president, I want you to come across that stage with a diploma in one hand and a voter registration card in the other at graduation time. I know that achieving your best is not easy, but then nothing worth having is easy. There's something on the inside that really makes us the people we really are. Just because it rains, we don't have to drown. Just because the mountain is rough, we don't have to bow. We just ask God for the strength to bear a greater burden. You may live in the slum, but the slum does not have to live in you. You can rise above it. You must say to yourself, I will succeed. I will not bow to averageness. I'm somebody kind of special. I cannot choose my circumstances. I cannot choose my circumstance, but I can choose how I will react to them. You say no, I will say yes. You say I won't, I will say I will. because I have the right to choose my circumstance. And so lastly, we can choose this road to success. Every day the sun will not shine in your face because there are clouds between you and the sun, but the sun really does shine every day. The fact of the matter is the road to success is not a straight road. It has curves in it. It has bumps. It has potholes. And every now and then it has blind spots. But you can walk that road. The road to success is not a 100-yard dash. It's a decathlon. It's a marathon. It's a long trip. None can walk up there but the pure in heart. Somehow, when the crisis of life strikes, you must be able to say that just because it rains, I don't have to drown. I'm somebody special. Repeat this after me. I can learn. It is possible. I ought to learn. It is the moral thing to do. I must learn. It is the imperative of now. I am a teacher. I will teach every child just like it's my child. I'm a preacher. I will preach education and a developed mind as God's will. I am a parent. I will meet my child's teacher. I will exchange home numbers. I will monitor study hours. I'll pick up my child's report card. I'll pick up my child's test scores. My child can learn. My child ought to learn. My child must learn. If my mind can conceive it and my heart can believe it, I know I can achieve it. It's not my aptitude, but my attitude that determines my altitude. I am somebody. I am somebody. I am somebody. Right on. It's decision time. It's decision time. For those of you who are sitting here tonight, it's decision time. Excel today. If there's a student in this audience whose mind has been changed, if you would like to be a doctor, I want you to stand wherever you are. Just stand. If you would like to be a doctor, just stand wherever you are. Come down this aisle. Come down this aisle. If you would like to be a lawyer, I want you to stand right now. Come down this aisle. If you would like to be a teacher, I want you to stand and come down this aisle. If you would like to be a business person, come down this aisle. If you would like to be a lawyer, excel today. Excel today. You would like to be somebody special. Say nothing and nobody will hold you back. Say I am somebody. I am God's child. Respect me. Protect me. I can be what I want to be. I can do what I want to do. I go where I want to go. My mind is a pearl. I can learn anything in the world. Nobody will hold me back. No more turning back. No more turning back. No more drugs. I want to be sober. I want to be sane. I want to be sensitive. I want to make a difference. I want to make a difference.
and pledge yourself for excellence.
You know, it's been said many times that a mind is a terrible thing to waste. I think we've all been challenged to use our talents to the best of our abilities. The question now is, will you accept that challenge and excel? Thank you, and good night.
I'm Richard Schaefer, and I'm Richard Schaefer. I'm sorry. Have a good evening. Bye-bye from the Civic Center Live with Jesse Jackson.
Listen, my friend.
I like that.
What I'm telling you today. Within your life, shape a brighter day. God has the best plan for all our lives. And make it will.
This is an eyewitness.